Okay, so today we're training the 90-90 hip lift. So 90-90 hip lift is going to help you with your hip mobility overall, but mainly what we're working with in 90-90 hip lift is looking at how our pelvis stacks over top the rib cage. If we want long-standing changes of how we can have our pelvis stack properly over our rib cage and in turn improve our breathing patterns, this is a great exercise that you need to be able to master. So to get started, step one, what are we looking to do? We're looking to get hamstring activation and then adductor activation during this exercise. So I'm gonna lay on my back. A lot of times I'll have people with their feet flat on the wall, but a lot of times that's very difficult for people to feel their hamstrings, so I will use a chair with clients. So I'm gonna start laying on my back. Hips should be 90-90, okay? So 90-degree angle here to my back and then 90-degree angle with my legs, okay? I'm going to put a yoga block, maybe a book or something, maybe a ball, something that is similar to this size, and put it in between my thighs here because that's what I'm going to use to squeeze, okay? So first things first, laying on your back, okay? You're going to want to raise your tailbone ever so slightly, okay? So you saw how I changed that just a little bit. So you can maybe do a few of these just to get the hang of that, but you're going to want to raise that tailbone ever so slightly so the tailbone is off the ground, but your waist belt is still on the ground. If you raise up like this, it's way, way too high. When you start doing the drill, you're going to start feeling it in the upper hamstrings, and that's not what you want. You're going to want to feel it in the lower hamstring area, hence we're only lifting up just a little bit here, okay? So slight lift. You're going to now squeeze that yoga block. It doesn't have to be too aggressive, okay? Then you're going to then tension your heels downward into the ground. You can see I'm shaking a little bit. You don't have to push that aggressively. I'm just doing that now just to show you, and maybe you can feel that a little bit more just to get the hang of it. But once you feel your adductors pressing your heels into the chair and your hamstrings kicking in, those are the two things that you want with that, again, that tailbone slightly lifted up. Then what you're gonna do, if you want to add a little bit of posterior displacement of the rib cage back down to get a better stack, you can have your arms up like this, okay? Or you can just have your arms flat, okay? But what we're gonna do here, I'm just gonna have my arms flat, I'm gonna squeeze, press my heels down, so now I feel my hamstrings and my lower hamstrings here, feel my adductors here. Now we're gonna explain the breathing pattern, okay? So I'm gonna relax for a second. The breathing pattern, okay, is going to be a quiet, slow, and controlled inhale with a slow, sighing exhale. Okay, so it's gonna be like this. Now with that exhale, you want all the air to be breathed out so you can feel kind of your ribs getting tinier and that core turning on. And the reason why you want a quiet inhale is because a lot of times people do this exercise, they try to breathe in a lot, but you see now what happened? My rib cage just rode up a little bit and I lost that stack between my pelvis and my rib cage. So what you want to do is just, again, get that slight lift. Now we have a good stack of the ribs and the pelvis. We want to maintain that the whole time. Now, when you get to that full exhale, the ribs are going to internally rotate. You're going to want to keep that tension, okay? So you're going to go for about 4 or 5 breaths. Again, slow, quiet inhale, and then a slow exhale with a sigh. You're going to go for 5 breaths while simultaneously squeezing and pressing down through those heels. So it can be quite intense when you first do it because it's very technical. There's a lot of things going on, but you'll get a lot in return if you're able to master this. Okay, a lot of times what can happen is
People get really good at this and they forget to do squats, deadlifts. So it's not good enough just to do this exercise, but it's a great starting point to learn how to contract the correct muscles and breathe properly to maintain a good stack of the pelvis. So this is what it's going to look like.
And then you relax. So that is your 90-90 hip lift. There's other kind of variations you can do with it, but just to master that simple exercise will get you a long way. So start from there. Peace.